and thanks for tuning in to the last installment of our Pandemic Reactions YouTube series. My name is Emma, and I have been guiding us through this series. I want to wrap up this series by talking about moving forward and what this means for us. As I talked about in my previous video, vaccine distribution is increasing around the US and worldwide. This means that restrictions are beginning to lift, and life as we knew it pre-COVID-19 is slowly returning. For some, this might be exciting and carry no fear at all. For others, this might be anxiety-inducing and carry a ton of worries. This return to normal hesitancy is a natural reaction to changing circumstances. Return to normal hesitancy is a worry about return to normal that might demonstrate itself as a social anxiety and might bring feelings of nervousness about the world opening up again. People might be nervous about the risks associated with opening up. They might be resistant to break out of habits that they have formed in the last however long it's been. Basically, we have lived a much more isolated and solitary life since March of 2020. With most of our bubbles being contained to household members, neighbors, and maybe a few trusted friends. So the idea of going back to larger social gatherings or large crowds in general might be anxiety-inducing for some people. It might cause people to feel socially awkward and thus cause people to overindulge in behaviors like eating or drinking to help deal with this awkwardness. Also, the idea of living in a half-vaccinated world again might present itself here. Generally, the return to normal hesitancy can cause uneasiness, discomfort, apprehension, and self-criticism or criticism of others. So if you're experiencing this when you think of the world opening back up again, just know that you're not alone. Changing any habits and routines can always be scary. And we have to consider that we might also be dealing with residual effects of the pandemic that I've talked about during this series, like increased anxiety, issues with sleep, and general mood changes. So even when it is all said and done, we can't act like the pandemic never happened. We will remember this time and how it's impacted our lives. And again, this can be for good or for worse, but there are some ways we can be sure to calm our nerves and worries when thinking about moving forward. So first, take it slowly and don't rush yourself into something that you aren't comfortable with. Be communicative with others about your boundaries and preferences. Don't judge yourself and don't judge others, as we all have different comfort levels. Also, it's important to reflect on your time during the pandemic. What habits and routines worked for you? What did you learn that you can take forward with you? What did you miss during the COVID-19 pandemic that you look forward getting back to? If you evaluate these things, you can make changes in your lives and continue any good habits and routines that you've established. As always, to soothe any anxiety associated with this, you can practice things like meditation, deep breathing, and exercise. Like I said, people are all going to deal with return to normal differently, but just remember to have grace for yourself and for those around you. Many of us have had a really hard time during COVID, but hopefully we've all learned some lessons from it, including to appreciate the small things and to not take the people and things in your life for granted, and to prioritize your health and well-being above all else. As we move forward, we need to acknowledge the past, but also look to the future. We've gone through hard times, but we are stronger for it, and we've learned lessons that we can take with us. So I want to thank all of you for watching this series. Hopefully you've learned something from it. After this video, if you again want to leave a comment with a question or idea on this video or any of Mental Health Partners' social media profiles, a team member will host a live stream at the end of the month to answer and engage with your comments. And you can find links to our social media profiles in the description of this video. Again, thank you so much for going through this series with me. Hopefully you found it useful. Take care.